happy day today. Check. All right, besides dancing, what are we going to do tonight?
Hello and welcome to the Podcasting and Livestreaming Channel. I am your host with the most, Shelley Carney, and that's Toby. Tonight we're going to be talking about how to be an amazing and awesome podcast guest by setting up your own in-home studio in a budget-conscious way.
Budget conscious, but quality, high quality.
Professional.
Yeah. Professional.
You will be a desired entity.
That's what we want. We want you to be desired.
Because
what?
you have
I want to
great
hear
lighting
the end of this.
and a beautiful background, and people can hear you well and see you, and all the things that we do, I'm going to share with you.
Which makes us great, not only podcast hosts, but podcast guests as well.
So we show up ready.
Because we're ready. We're ready to rock and roll.
Switch of a flip of a switch of a flip of a switch.
That's all
ready.
It takes. All
Boom.
It takes.
We are there. We're on.
I'm running out of music here.
Okay. Toby and I want to provide value to our community, and we hope you enjoy the videos we create. We appreciate you being here to engage with us. To help us in return, you can share your ideas and appreciation by clicking on the thumbs up like button, subscribing, clicking on the bell to receive notifications, and writing a positive comment. Then share our videos with your family and friends so we can grow the channel and reach more wonderful people in the future. Thanks.
I think there's some sort of assumption that they're going to be wonderful.
Well, it's in comparison to the people we already have, which are already wonderful. We'll just get more wonderful people.
All right.
That's where that was going.
I'm going to banner some stuff here. Why don't you tell everybody what
All right.
You have big plans. Look at this.
I have notes.
Look at this. She has big plans for tonight. Big plans.
None of their business.
Well, of course, it's their business. They're watching us.
All right. Tonight, we are going to talk about how to get booked on a podcast and be a great guest. How to get booked on a podcast and be a great guest. We're talking about that all week, but tonight we're specifically talking about the technology parts of it. So we do want to mention that we have an ebook available for you that gives you a lot of great information about how to prepare yourself before, during, and after a podcast, what you need to keep in mind for all of those
Am I supposed to be
stages.
showing that right now?
The ebook is...
You want to see the ebook?
Going to be shown to you on the screen momentarily. And that's what it looks like. How to become a podcast star, how to get booked on podcasts and be a great guest.
And you will find the link in the scrolling banner below us. You'll see the link. It's called Podcast Star 01.agkmedia.studio.
CC.
But I'll show it to you again here anyway. Just let me know when you're going to start doing that stuff because I want to make sure I've got it up for you. There's the link. Podcast Star 01.agkmedia.studio.
And that'll be in the description box.
Well.
Next, let's talk about tech. All right. So the tech for a home-based studio is something that we want to help you with because we want you to be ready if you get contacted or you get in touch with and book yourself on your favorite podcast or even Good Morning America or one of those local television news shows or whatever. We want you to be ready, that all you have to do is flip a couple of switches and you are ready to go and you're looking beautiful and you're sounding amazing. So what is the tech that we use?
So,
for that.
well, so I think what we have to do is make a distinction between what we use and what we started with.
Okay.
Because what we use now is based upon the fact that we made a room dedicated to being our studio, and this equipment doesn't leave. It sits in place, and all we have to do, literally, as you said, is come in and flip some switches, and we're ready to go.
Mhm.
Not everyone has the benefit of having a place where that they can do that. Sometimes it's just their kitchen table or their desktop, etc.
That's true. But if you're able to dedicate a room to your own home office, which I have at my house too. I have a bedroom that's just my home office.
And it's not really a studio; it just happens to be
right.
a
And
home
here,
office.
This is a bedroom that we've turned into a studio.
Mhm.
My home office is a bedroom with a door. That way, if I'm on a call, a Zoom call, or being interviewed or whatever, if I was to doing a podcast, I'd be able to shut the door. Then I don't have to worry about the cat walking in or noise in the other room carrying over, that sort of thing. So if it's at all possible for you to have that, that's great.
Right.
That would be ideal.
But if you're not, have a dedicated location in your house for all this kind of thing, because not only is this going to apply to the potential for you being a podcast guest, it applies to the potential for you having your own live stream or your own podcast, and doing a lot of work with your clients who are now going to be remote. And the pandemic is ending. You don't have to be, but people have really gotten to like the idea that when they can meet via one of the video conferencing systems. So get used to that. So you should have it someplace where you can, where you can be comfortable, where the technology is always available, and where you can look good and sound good.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't have the problem with the cat. It's really funny about Shelley's cat. The minute Shelley's cat hears me talking with Shelley on the video conference, it tries to get in like, oh, look, it's the Tobster. Gotta say hi.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start with the basics. The simple fact of the matter is that if you don't already, you should have a computer. It can be a desktop or a laptop, but it should be of a recent manufacture, like in the last 2 years, right? Because this kind of stuff, the fact that we're live streaming with audio and video simultaneously, consumes a lot of horsepower. Now, it's not, we have a workstation. We have a Dell workstation class system, but we can do all of this on my Chromebook. So the Chromebook actually has enough performance nowadays to be able to do this kind of work.
Yeah, on my old Toshiba, which I got in
Right.
2015,
Right.
it can still do
Well,
it.
the Dell that I gave to the kids, right?
Yeah.
It did fine with that, and that laptop was 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah.
So the first thing is you have to have a computer with the ability to take a USB input for video and a 3.5 millimeter, and we'll explain this in just a moment, plug for audio for both your earphones and your microphone. We're going to explain that in just a minute. So that's the first thing. The second thing you need, if you have Netflix and you're not using your phone to get Netflix, is you need an internet connection. Most of the time, while you can use your phone, you're playing with fire, right? Because
You're more likely to get interrupted by phone calls or texts or any other app that decides that you need to know something right now while you're in the middle of a live stream.
Right.
And sometimes people are good about remembering to turn all that off, but sometimes not.
And
it's just one more thing to remember.
And having an internet, if nothing else, for your entertainment purposes. I don't know how you do Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or any of these other services without having a high performance internet. Now, again, we went to extremes. We have the 1 gigabyte Comcast cable, 1 gigabyte service. It's expensive. It's $75 a month, but it gives us all the performance we could imagine. And also it connects to our computer via the Ethernet. So there's no wireless. We don't do wireless. You can do wireless, but you're going to pay a price. If you want to know if you have enough performance, point your browser to speedtest.net. speedtest.net and click go, and it should be 5 megabytes plus upload and 10 megabytes plus download. That should give you enough performance, but make sure you test it, right? So you need a computer and you need an internet service to begin with, right? And the simple fact of the matter is, like Shelley said, I think earlier, if you've been doing Zoom calls all during the pandemic, it is likely you have enough. Now, if you've been doing Zoom calls and people are complaining that you're breaking up or that you're out of sync or that we can't see you, but we can hear you, or vice versa, then you probably need a little bit more performance than you have now.
Yeah, I was watching a coaching. It's like a mastermind that's every Tuesday and Thursday, and it's a different coach every Tuesday or Thursday throughout the month. It's a different person, and they have to come in prepared. They have to have their own high-speed internet. They have to have their own computer, their own camera, their own audio equipment, so that when they show up to coach, they can put out a good performance that people can enjoy and learn from without distractions of, buffering and cutting out and freezing up and all of that. And sometimes we still get coaches who come in and have those issues. So you definitely want to have these things in place. It makes you look professional and prepared.
Right. So what we decided to do is, rather than give you the studio tour and buy this stuff, we picked the items that we thought you would need in order to make you look and sound good, so that whoever invited you to be a guest on the podcast didn't have any complaints, right? They didn't have to stop you and say, I can't hear you, or there's an echo, or all the possible things that can go wrong with audio in what podcast. If you follow kind of these things, you'll do fine. Yeah. You'll do very well, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you want to go from here?
Let's go to the store.
All right.
And we'll talk a little bit about your sound card, like some of the issues that we had with Coffee when we were setting up for his show last time.
Right. Oops.
And what people might want to keep in mind for when they're getting ready to hook up to the internet or the Zoom call or StreamYard or whatever it is they're using.
What? Everything just went away. Hold on a second here. Yeah.
All righty.
No, that's not what I want. Hold on. Amazon. How come it's not showing it?
I don't know. Was it over here?
Yeah, it was over here. Let me just go to the store first.
Go to the store.
And I have to do all those others as well. But I'll do that while you're talking.
All right. So what we're going to show you is our Amazon storefront. We put kits together in there so that you can just go in there and look for the kit. Now, it doesn't cost you anything extra to buy it from there than it would if you just went straight into an Amazon page. But we do get a little bit of a commission if you purchase it when you go through our page. So we appreciate it if you're going to buy that thing anyway, that you buy it through our page, because like I said, it doesn't cost any extra. And here are the pieces of equipment that we recommend and that we use.
Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the lights up on the wall.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, let's just go ahead and start with those because they're simple.
Okay.
So these are the lights, and Toby and I both have them in our home office studios. They are at a 45-degree angle from our faces, so that we don't have shadows and we don't have glare on our glasses.
Mm-hmm. Or the glare from the lights. The important thing about this selection is they're very versatile. You can see that you can turn them right side up, upside down. You can put the shade on it or off it. But even more importantly, you don't have to wire them. You don't have to wire them into your house. These just hang up on the wall, and then they have plugs and dimmer switches associated with them. So we finally ended up with these, and they're very inexpensive. They're $25 for the pair. And that's the only light we have in this. Well, I shouldn't say that. The only light that we have on us are the two lights that you see in here. There's no additional light. It's very even. It's almost flat, but it's exactly what we need in this situation. Now, I will say that in our case, we've added two lights overhead that are point it at the green screen, which is what you have to do when you have green screen. But you don't have to worry about that if you just have like in Shelley's house. She doesn't have a green screen. She just has her bookshelf in the background.
Chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things like that.
So that's the first thing.
As long as it's neat, people don't really care what you have back there, as long as it's neat.
Right. So here's the second thing.
The light bulbs.
So these are compact fluorescent light bulbs. They're specifically made for video, and the reason they're specifically made for video is because most fluorescent lights have a flicker built in. Now, most of the time you can't see it, but if you're pointing a video camera at a set of fluorescent lights, you'll start seeing bars that run across your screen, and that's the fluorescent lights flickering at a rate different from what your camera is set to be. These compact fluorescent bulbs don't do that. You don't see any flickering either in the room or when you're looking at us. There's a couple of really good things about them. These are the 125 watt. They draw as much electricity as a 27 volt incandescent light bulb. They put out a whole bunch of energy, and they do it without producing a lot of heat, which is important when you're in a 12 by 12 studio. But most importantly, they have a mean time between failure of around 5,000 hours. So you for $36, you get two of them, which matches with the light set that we just, so it's 25 and 35 now. You get two of them in the last 5,000 hours. We do 3 to 5 shows a week, up to about an hour for each show. And we've had the lights that are in here now for probably, well, ever since we built this studio, which is now 3 years.
You moved here when you turned 70. So
I'm 72, 2 years, 2.5,
about
2 years and some change. But there is no, because their lighting is so soft, we don't have to put anything else around them to soften them up. And you got to admit, I'm going to go back to full screen here. You got to admit that, I mean, it's going to take a lot more lighting to make me look good, but you got to admit it makes her look good. And that's what's important. And all it is the two plain uncovered, what do they call them? There's a name for that. When you don't cover bare bulbs. Yeah. That's what it boils down to. Yeah. But because they're placed at a 45-degree angle from us and then a 45-degree angle up, it just even lighting, and it's bouncing off the ceiling and off the walls.
So as you can see, Toby has to actually look up for you to get any glass glare. Now, I've worked with people, seen them on their, on camera on their side, and I don't know what their lighting is, and I think a lot of times it is the ring light, and they have their glasses, and you can see
the ring light.
All you can see is the reflection of the light in their lenses, and you can't see their eyes, and that's kind of distracting.
I have the non-reflective coating on my glasses,
so do I.
But if all I do is look up, you'll start seeing the lights in my glasses, even with the non-reflective coating. But as long as I'm looking at that camera, because they're at that 45-degree angle, there's not going to be any reflective glare. All right.
So these are amazing lights for a really low price. And once they're up, you're done.
You're done.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. You just turn them on. You turn on the switch. I don't know why it doesn't want to go up right.
Or if you're like me and you have a bedroom that you're going to be using that has a light switch that's hooked up to one of your sockets, you get your lights plugged into that socket, and then you can just use the switch.
Flip switch, go in. Yeah, we don't have the benefit in this room.
So
we got a lot happening in this room. All right, so let's go back to a second option for lights. This is the one that I have on my desktop. This is a 12-inch ring light. It is a little bit more expensive. As a matter of fact, let me see if it shows it on here. Yeah, it's $30. But it doesn't take up a lot of space. You can put it behind your laptop. And they always show this ring light with the phone being in the middle. And that's for people who don't wear glasses. Because if you put your phone in the middle and you wear glasses, that ring light is, as Shelley said, it just shows up in your glasses whether you have a non-reflective coating. So what we recommend is you put the clamp below the light on the light stand, the clamp that holds your camera below the light on the light stand. You raise the light up so it's at a good angle so you can't see it glaring in your glasses when you're looking at the camera, and then just kind of angle it
And
downward.
this is if you choose to use your phone as your camera.
Right. Well, you could even put the camera that we're going to recommend right in the middle of this with a clamp.
I see.
Right. So it doesn't make any difference. But the nice thing about it is it doesn't require any kind of installation. It doesn't take up space on the wall. It just sits behind
And
your
you can move it really
your computer.
easily.
Yeah,
So
and
if
you
you're
can use
using
it.
a laptop or a phone and you want to be mobile, then this might be a better option for you.
And the other thing is it comes with a light stand that has a 6-foot extension on it. So if you want to just stand up and do your presentation, I do that a lot. I'm more comfortable standing when I do presentations.
It brings more energy to the presentation.
And it comes with that light stand. It runs on batteries or an AC adapter, and it comes with the AC adapter.
Is this the one you gave me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be exactly the same
It's
thing.
super easy to use.
Yeah. So that's lighting. And then let's go back. And I want to go from lighting to camera.
Yeah.
And the camera that we recommend is a little bit more expensive. It's the Logitech C920 to start. Now we have right now in here, did I pull it out? We have the C925, which is the next.
This is the 25 or the 30?
This ours now?
Yeah.
Is it 25, I think?
I think it's the 30. This is the wider one.
Is it? Okay. Well, it runs a little bit more, but this is the C920, which we used for a couple of years. Now, some people say, oh, I don't want to use my webcam. I want to use my DSLR. The minute you make that decision to use a DSLR, you've added complexity.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you've added cables and converters in order to do that. And here's an old rule.
We have tried everything.
Yeah.
And this is what works.
Right.
The best, the easiest, the
Right.
quickest.
Just switches on.
Just plug it in and it goes.
Right. And the less complexity you can add to your solution, the more likely it is it's not going to fail. The more
Right.
complexity is some old rule in process design.
Yeah.
The more complexity you add, the more components
Keep it simple.
have
Streamers.
the potential to keep it simple. Yeah. Keep it simple, streamers. The more complexity you add, the more likely it is you have points of failure. So every time you do that, you just, like I said, you decide to go to an SLR. Yes, you're going to have a nice bokeh in the background, right? But you've added at least 4
You can
pieces
do that on Zoom anyway.
that are going to fail for you.
This camera has been around for many years, and people just love it. It's not going away. There are small advances coming out, like with stereo microphone, a little wider view. But other than that, and we got the wider view because there's 2 of us side by side. But if you're by yourself, you certainly don't. This would be fine for you. We used the 920 for years before we just recently got the 930.
I think you're right. I think it's the 930.
Yeah.
So you will be offered lower priced options. Based on our experience, we're going to recommend that you do not go with the lower priced options. Pay for the Logicam. Logitech. I'm sorry, the Logitech camera. And the reason that a lot of these were made available was at the beginning of the pandemic when everybody started video conferencing, both for work and for family purposes. They ran out of Logitech, so they started selling all these options. I'm not going to mention names. I'm just going to say, if you're going to buy one for yourself, buy a Logitech.
Yeah.
Minimum
You will be
920.
much happier, and it'll last you a really long time.
Right. And it connects to your computer through a USB port. So it's not an HDMI connection. It's basically a USB port. It records at up to 1080p, which is fine, 30 frames a second, and that's plenty for what you're going to be doing. I mean, like I said, take a
You're
look
not
at
on a big giant
right.
drive-in movie theater
even if you were to open it up, you have to agree that it looks good. So Brian asks a good question. What about the glare from the computer display? Again, if you don't have it, if you have a problem with it, then you have to move the computer display to one side. But the non-reflective,
I haven't ever actually seen anybody's computer display in their glasses.
if you do not have the reflective coating, it'll show up.
But I've seen their lights, but I
Yeah.
don't see the reflection from the
If
computer.
you
so,
you and I both have the reflective coating.
yeah,
So
I've got the UV protection and the non-glare.
anti-glare.
Yeah,
Yeah, anti-glare.
all of it, because I knew I was going to be on camera a lot, so I made sure to get that.
Yeah.
And I use my computer all day, so I wanted to make sure my glasses were set up for that.
Yeah. So you will sometimes get a glare from the computer display. There's two ways you can avoid that. One is don't work in a dark room. Make sure that the room is
Yeah.
evenly lighted.
Yeah.
So the less the room is lighted, the more likely you're going to see that reflection of the computer display, which is where you see it in like gamers, because they always seem to work in a dark room. But the other thing that helps immensely is the anti-reflective coating.
Right.
And it's gotten to the point, I remember the last one.
And we're a good arm and a half length from our monitors.
And we have two monitors. We have one there and one there. One, on Shelley's side, one on my side. And these are 24-inch monitors. So you can't see either of them in our glasses, even if you turn. Yeah. Okay. What's next?
And thanks for the question, Brian. And if anybody else has a question, please make sure you put that in the chat so we can answer it.
Yeah.
What is the next thing in our store?
Let me go back here. I keep opening old Windows. Problem.
Sound. Sound is the most important thing you can do. A lot of people will recommend to you to get a special kind of microphone, like a Yeti or Blue Yeti, or there's a lot of different ones out there.
The most popular is the Blue Yeti. What they'll start
want you to have an isolator arm, and then they want you this and that and the other thing, and it gets to be a lot, right? And it's more than you need. And when you have your mic attached to your face, you don't have to worry about, I'm not going to be turning away from the microphone, so my audio level doesn't change. Where you have a microphone in front of your face and then you turn to look and talk in another direction, and people can hear that on your podcast. They can hear the audio change, and it's distracting.
And these headsets have gotten progressively more capable and progressively less expensive. Now, again, we're going to qualify this. When we decided to put this studio together, one of the problems we experienced immediately when we had microphones was spillover. So whenever I was talking, it would go into Shelley's microphone as well, even though it was a unidirectional mic. But it would pick it up and there'd be a slight delay and it sounded like an echo. So I went back to an old approach that I took years and years ago when I used to do a lot of streaming from conferences and trade shows. And I went back to the Sportscaster's headset. It has two advantages. Number one, I can hear the things that I'm supposed to be hearing as opposed to all the background noise if I was at, say, at a football game, basketball game, or a trade show. And number two, it has this really, really good unidirectional mic, so it picks up me and not Shelley and vice versa. So we're not competing over it. We're not spilling over into each other's microphones. And as Shelley said, it makes it convenient. As your head turns, your audio level doesn't change at all. But these are $200 headsets, right? And these are not that expensive. Well, we used to use Sennheisers, and those are $700 headsets, but they were stolen. But these are Audio-Technica. They're also XLR inputs, so you have to have, in our case, a Rodecaster Pro. You have to have a mixer that brings it in. So what we
do show these in a different one of our kits, but we wanted to give you an entry-level option where you didn't have to do a lot of extra complications.
Right. Again, with it's taken us, I don't want to say it's taken us years. We had to work out the complications, right? We had to work out every time we had an audio failure, we had to figure it out. And we were doing fine. And even a month ago, we started a show and people were going, we can't hear you. And we had to literally troubleshoot it on the fly. So we're recommending this one Audio A71 PC headset with a boom mic. We've tested it. We own two of them. I have one at Shelley's house, one at my house. We use them whenever we're using the telephone or the laptop for communications, right?
Yeah, it's got the two different kinds of inputs. So you can plug that into your phone, which is pretty awesome if you're using Clubhouse and you want to have a really good connection to your phone so that people hear you really well. Or if you were going to be doing, a podcast interview over the phone, that's an awesome option for you.
And it only has one plug. It's the 3.5 millimeter plug that you have on your computer, and it has the TRRS plug, meaning you have one plug that fits into one input, and it handles both your what you hear and what you say. So it's very, very uncomplicated. Yeah, on here, there's a volume switch, there's a mute switch, but you can see it has that TRRS connection right there.
I guess it's an extra piece to go to the phone, though, right?
Yeah, it's a cable. Well, it depends on your phone.
Oh, well, with the
Android phone, you don't need the extra piece.
That's
with
right.
the iPhone, you need the lightning adapter, the
Lightning
TRRS to lightning adapter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which we both have iPhones. That's why. Here's what's important about this. Number one, it means that your host will be able to hear you and you will be able to hear them, and there won't be any echo, any leveling, all the other things that are going to happen if you try and talk to your laptop or listen from your laptop. We strongly recommend not doing that. Your laptop has the ability, and it says just talk in the direction of the laptop and listen, because it has both microphones and speakers. First of all, they're not the best quality simply because they're so small. Secondly, it has to use computer power to make a distinction between what it's hearing and what you're saying. So it has to work all that out, adding additional performance requirements to it. With this, it's one plug. You'll be able to hear your host perfectly, and you'll be able to hear your guests. They'll be able to hear you perfectly. Now, we've had some people complain that I don't like wearing the headset. It makes me look geeky.
Yeah, well, and I can't wear my earrings either.
And you can't wear. Neither of us can wear our earrings. I just say no.
But in that case, you can use the earbuds that came with your iPhone and have the little microphone on them.
Smartphone.
A lot of people use those, and they work really well.
Yeah,
for the most part.
As a second choice, if you don't want the big headset ears going, we don't mind it. We've gotten used to it. We like it. We know it's a much better solution in terms of audio, both on the host's end and the guest's end. But if you have a second choice, then just take the headset that came with your smartphone. It'll have a 3.5 millimeter plug that'll plug right into your computer, and the microphone's on the cable here, and they've gotten pretty good. Another option that I've seen used and seen a lot of the what do they call them? They're the associates on the various news channels. So when they're interviewing an attorney, they put in their
the contributors.
The contributors, yeah, they put in their what do they call the wireless ones? Earbuds.
Oh yeah, the AirPods.
And because you can connect to your computer via Bluetooth, now it means that your laptop has to be new enough to have the Bluetooth interface, but you can connect to your laptop with the AirPods. And I got to say,
they're charged before you go on. And it's another thing to remember.
Right. But I've seen these contributors to the various news channels, and they seem to work okay. They seem to be fine. But this is, for us, has always been the best possible solution. They're
simple and inexpensive, and it works really well.
$32.99. So,
and plus, look how cool we look. We look like we're like broadcasters, like we know what we're doing.
Hey, this is Toby Younis coming to you.
Gives you a little extra credibility.
Yeah, we think so.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is this particular brand of headset comes with different cables. So if you want, you can just use it to listen to music from your smartphone or your laptop or any other audio device. So it's a very complete little kit, and we've had a lot of success with it. Certainly, like I said, certainly we've had enough so that I bought it to test it, liked it, and I bought one for Shelley as well. So, which is what she uses when she's dialing in remote to. Oh no! I set you up with.
Yeah, I've got one of these at home.
At home, yeah, with
I've got both.
adapter.
But the other, I do use it when I'm on Clubhouse though.
Right, with a phone.
Yeah. Or if I have a phone call that's I know it's going to be long or whatever.
And like I said, these require an input and output. The input or the output rather is an XLR, and the input is a 1/4-inch phono cable, and that's why we have to have the mixer. In our case, the Rodecaster Pro. So this doesn't require a mixer; plugs right into your computer.
So keeping it simple for you.
Okay.
Then we put the chairs in because a lot of people are like, I need a chair. My chair is not comfortable. I don't have an office chair. What do you recommend? The wheels are falling off my chair. This is the chair that we have. We love it. The wheels are the rollerblade wheels, silent and smooth and very zoom around the room.
And let's go to the picture.
The seat is velour, so I don't stick to it in the summer when I'm wearing shorts or a skirt. So I love that.
And the nice thing about the blade wheels is all the other chairs that don't come with the blade wheels, you have to buy the blade wheels separately, and they're $40.
Yeah, if you wanted to upgrade to
so this one, the handles or the armrests
go up and down,
fold up and down out of the way
easily.
It
is a little bit wider than some of your other chairs,
right.
So it can fit, a wider person if necessary.
And it goes up and down by about 9 inches. So
and the headrest and everything is pretty comfortable.
Yeah,
the lumbar support is good, and it goes up and down 4 inches, I think.
6 inches.
6 inches.
Yeah. With the hydraulic. Oh no, yeah, a class 4 hydraulic lift. But the rollerblade wheels are cool. When
it's called a gaming chair, but it looks kind of like a combination of a gaming chair and office chair.
Oh,
and it does recline a little bit if you want it to.
3.9-inch lift. So it has some competitors, but this was the best combo price, especially with the wheels, because like I said, the other chairs don't have the rollerblade wheels, and they're another $40. So we were very fortunate to find this one.
And if you're going to be sitting in front of your laptop or desktop computer all day, you're going to want something comfortable to sit in. And this is it.
So that's our kit. I will put the link to, let me see, can I go to that list right there? I'm going to put that in the chat room so that you can go. You want to go to it. Now, remember, you're not going to pay extra for any of this. Amazon gives us a little commission if you buy it through our.
All we do is we go through the Amazon lists of products, and we see the one that we like, and then we put it, that link into our little kit, and it's all sponsored by Amazon. The whole thing is Amazon. So. And these are
things that we've used. There is nothing in here that we haven't purchased and or used, which is kind of my hobby. My hobby is buying stuff from Amazon. But we also have some other solutions for you. There's the home studio, the podcasting kit.
Oh, on Facebook it didn't like it.
Yeah, it didn't like it. Oh, that I put the link up.
Facebook.
Yeah. Studio lighting kit, live streaming, AGK prizes. We used to give prizes away for our AGK programming, video production, kitchen gear. When I was cooking, are my favorites. And where's Shelley's favorites? Shelley's favorites are up here. Home office products and some foodie things that you might want.
And the photography. Book we wrote. So what do we recommend for our guests? If you would want to be a guest on our show, these are the things that we would recommend to you. Now, we don't necessarily think you have to go out and buy all of this. If you already are using something that you've set up for Zoom calls, that's wonderful. And we're happy to work with you if you want to, like get on a Zoom call with us and say, what can I improve? And we could look at your setup and we could offer some improvements to what you already have to give you better lighting or better audio if that's something that you need. So that's something that we do for, for people in a consulting basis. But if you would like to be one of our guests on our Wednesday night show, Messages and Methods, we'd be happy to work with you as well. You can go to our guest's journey, and Toby's given you the link. It's also in the crawl. So all of our links are in the crawl if you need anything that you don't see. Our guest journey just gives you 3 short videos that gives you all the preparation you need to be an awesome guest on our program or any program that you would want to be featured on, whether that's a podcast or, like I said, Good Morning America or something else of that nature. So check that out, even if you just want to watch the videos to help you be more prepared for any interview.
Or fill out the forms to be more prepared for any interview.
Yeah. And then you can be on our show with us on a Wednesday night.
And
Really easy to do.
who wants to be on our show? What kind of person needs to be on our show?
So our audience is made up of encore entrepreneurs and legacy live streamers, people who are in their retirement years, life 2.0, and they are rewiring instead of retiring. So if that fits who you would like to speak to as well, then that would be an awesome match for us.
So journey.messagesandmethods.com.
And once again, don't forget, we have that ebook, How to Get Booked on a Podcast and to Be a Great Guest. And that is, again,
I'm going to bring it up here
link
in
is
just a
in the crawl, and Toby's going to be bringing up the landing page for that. Pretty cool. So yeah, if you want that free ebook, a lot of that same information is in that video series in our guest journey. So you can go at it whichever way you want. If you prefer video over reading, then go for the videos. Like to read, or you want to have that book with you for forever, then go ahead and get the book.
Did you have a copy in here?
Oh, we do. Right there. Ta-da! So you can print that out. And as you can see, it's got some great information in there, all kinds of checklists and things to think about to prepare yourself for being on a podcast.
And it's a freebie.
It's a freebie. We want to offer that value to our audience. And what else? Coming up Wednesday, tomorrow, we are going to be talking about some of our memorable guests, why they were memorable, what they did to be a great guest, and to help you learn some of the things that you could do to be a great guest if you get booked on a podcast or live stream.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah. So we're going to do that tomorrow. And then Thursday night, we're going to talk about...
Did we have any guests that weren't ready?
I have.
Yeah, you have. We won't.
That's why.
No names.
Why
We're not going to mention names.
Well, I've done a lot of interviews with people, and a lot of them live. In fact, at different expos and that sort of thing. And some of them are not prepared for that. So it's a good idea to get this knowledge ahead of time, so that if you suddenly have to speak about yourself and your business, you're ready.
You know, that's interesting. That's one of the differences between what we're doing, live streaming and having people on, and what I did for most of my life, which was documentary making with interviews. The people knew in advance kind of that they were going to be interviewed, that it was for a documentary, and here's the questions they were going to be asked. And I think that's why we had...
Now, we do that with our guests on Wednesday nights, because, we've learned that people need and appreciate that.
Yeah.
But also, because we're going to be on live, it helps to make them feel comfortable so that they know what to expect. So being live can be a little bit stressful for some people, and knowing what to expect and knowing what the questions are in advance can help them.
I think it's funny that people still get nervous being live in a live stream, because it's not like it's a lot worse when you're in front of a live audience, you know.
I agree.
So,
But
we
we
both know.
have a lot of experience with
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
And they have all their reasons. So Thursday, we're going to be talking about mental and physical preparation for interviews. Some of the other things that are in the book, we will be discussing beyond the tech, right? The things that you need to have in place before you appear as a guest, and some of the mental preparation you can do as well.
Visualization.
Yeah, lots of good things.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we have a Facebook group, and we multi-stream not only to YouTube, to 2 channels, but also to 6 places on Facebook, including our Facebook group, which is called Leveraging Your Content. And along with these training videos every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we also have resources in there, such as our podcast star book and other resources. We have conversations with people, and we are, helping them to network and collaborate. We're growing this group. So if you believe that this would be a great place for you, and you would get some value out of it, then please do join. It's called Leveraging Your Content. It's a Facebook group. It's simple to find, and just check that out. Come join us in
So
there.
there's your
There's our
podcast
show
star.
right now.
That's us.
That's us right now.
And there's your podcast star book.
Yep.
All you have to do is join the group. And also
Easy peasy.
Shelley's top 10 interview
Well, actually,
tips.
Shelley and Toby's, because Toby actually wrote most of that.
No, I didn't write it. I said it. You turned it
Well,
into
you had slides.
something of substance.
Anyway,
Shelley's really
we're
good
a
at
good
this.
team.
Yeah.
So that's what we have available for you, our audience, to provide that value that you might need to help you produce and launch your own podcast, live stream, and blog. So that's all we have for tonight. I want to thank you all for joining us. Please do share this content with your family, friends, or anyone you know who is thinking about starting a podcast or getting on podcasts. You might want to showcase a book that you've written, or a course that you've made, or your coaching or consulting business. Lots of reasons to be on a podcast.
And not only that, not only has it gotten progressively easier and progressively more fun because it has gotten easier, it's not expensive. I mean, we've gone through expense. I tell people, if you were to come into this studio, I've probably spent less than $2,000 on this entire studio. Now, you don't even have to do that. You could be a live streamer, a starting live streamer for under $100. That's what it boils down to. Lights, audio, camera. It's going to, well, $200. All right. We'll say because I forget that $80 camera.
Yeah.
But for under $200, you too can be a live stream star. And all you have to do is have a topic, show up consistently, and present your topic in a credible manner, and you're going to start gaining followers. That's how it works. I mean, it's really great. So, and we use live streaming and podcasting interchangeably. There's not much difference.
Because
yes, one has video because we do both at the same time, right? So, all right. Thanks for joining us.
You can too.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
That's right.
We'll see you tomorrow night, same time on Messages and Methods. And then on Thursday night, same time on Shelley Carney Life Coach. So we look forward to talking with you guys then. Hope you can join us.